Hi, my name's Tom Allen. I'm the CEO of Summit Behavioral Health. And just a quick, some of you may or may not know, my marketing director is Zena Rodriguez. Her son was involved in an unfortunate accident a couple weeks ago. He's in a brain trauma unit. If you guys need more information, please contact me. He's 17 years old. He fell off a Jeep at 40 miles an hour and hit his head pretty hard.
He's in for a long journey.
Yeah, he is. And Zena's having a tough time. So some of you who know her on a personal or even a business level, if you could reach out, I'm sure she would appreciate the kind.
And on Kevin Kinlan's website, Kevin Kinlan's Facebook page, there's a website you can donate for mental care.
And I'm going to post on Summit's website, Summit's Facebook page. There's another
Caring Bridge.
Caring Bridge is the other
You can
one.
find out daily updates.
Yeah, she put updates on, and people can post kind words to her.
That's great.
So he's stable, but he's having a hard time settling in, and so is she. So any support would be appreciated. And on that note, I'm very humbled to be up here. It's a privilege to be among you all and to be able to present. And what I learn more on a daily basis is how much I don't know about life and about this industry as a whole. I'm not a clinician. My background's in law. I'm a former attorney. I moved back to New Jersey a few years ago. I got back into the state, and I was at a crossroads. I wasn't sure if I was going to... I had set up a program in Arizona years ago, sold that, moved back east. Was living in Florida for a while, moved back to New Jersey, and wasn't sure if I was going to do another startup or go back into practicing law. I had this novel idea that I was going to set up a boutique law firm specializing in addiction issues, which ranges from matrimony to criminal to everything else. And a buddy of mine told me, a little bit of everything. A buddy of mine had told me about a position at the National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependency in their public policy department. And he said, why don't you use that as an opportunity to figure out what you want to do? So I took the job, and I got to learn about the addiction field in the macro level. And I saw how much policy work needed to be done, whether it was parity, healthcare reform, and how disenfranchised addicts are as a population. And it really moved me. And I got into seeing how a state the size of New Jersey, a densely populated state, and to have not a lot of quality treatment options out there. And frankly, and I won't say this just because Seabrook and Alina are here, but those are probably the only two places in the state that I would send a family member to. And that's sort of the litmus test I use. If I wouldn't go to a facility or send a family member there, how can I ask you to send your kids and loved ones there? So I got to see New Jersey from a macro level and to see that there really weren't enough options out there for the people that needed them. A friend of mine had started an organization for family members who lost kids to overdoses, and it was called City of Angels, and it's based out of Hamilton. I got involved with them, so I was sitting on their board, and I saw all these young adults coming in. If they had good insurance, we were sending them out of New Jersey. We were sending them places in Florida, Utah, Arizona. And if they didn't have good insurance, well, they were stuck with what New Jersey had to offer. And frankly, that wasn't good enough. I went to 8 funerals over an 18-month period from young adults ages 18 to 26. So the fire started burning in me. If not anything else, I'm an activist at heart, and I realized that we needed to put more options together. So I put together an investment group. I started looking for properties, and in New Jersey, it takes an act of God to get one of these places open. Land use law in New Jersey is very, very rigid. Any state where it's densely populated, land use laws are set in place to make sure that the property rights of the neighbors aren't infringed upon. That's good and bad. It's good in a way if you're trying to keep a gentleman's club out of a neighborhood. Bad if you're trying to get a treatment center open. And that was sort of where I spent my first 6 months, is trying to find property that was appropriate, that I could get zoned and licensed. So things started to come together. I spent a lot of time cultivating relationships with policymakers, with politicians, was able to get some zoning boards to move the right way. And where we're at now in the process is we've got 2 outpatient centers open, one in Princeton, one in Doylestown. Our third IOP is going to be opening in Union, which is North Jersey. We've got a residential detox coming online, a 40-bed detox in March. Hopefully it'll be open a little bit before that. And it's about 20 minutes outside Manhattan. And then I've got 2 residential sites with another 60 beds coming online in late spring and early summer. The idea behind it is, treating people with dignity and respect. And I heard this quote at a conference recently. If somebody's in treatment, you're only in group maybe 6, maybe 7 hours out of the day. What happens the rest of the time? Creating a treatment experience, not just when the individual's in group or sitting in their therapy session, but creating an overall experience that's conducive to recovery. Each one of the properties are handpicked and unique. I've taken people to tour all the sites, and this isn't to boast, but I've taken a couple people through there in the last 2 months and said probably one of the nicest facilities in that region, just from a facility standpoint. So I'm taking the time to pick properties where people don't feel like they're being punished because they want to go get sober. We're picking properties that are conducive to recovery, that are peaceful and tranquil. And the clinical model that is preferred is motivational interviewing with CBT, all master's level clinicians, and we're still in a lot of the program development stage for the residential model. But the delivery system, and this was something I was going through the detox site about a month and a half ago, and I had my architect with me and my project manager. And we were going through and we were trying to set up the nurses station. And we were talking about the MedPass window. And right before that, we had a conversation about the type of model that we're setting up, the targeted demographic that we're going after. And we're talking about a MedPass window. And the architect said to me, and he doesn't have any experience in addiction or this industry, and he said, why would you make a client get up out of bed to go to the med window and wait in line? And I started thinking about that, and it really got me thinking about the delivery model of addiction treatment. And that, my wife had I had a son 6 months ago, and it would have been absurd for my wife to have gotten out of bed to go up to the nurse's station to get a medication, but yet we do that in detox when somebody's sick, making them get up out of bed, go get their medication, and go back and lay down. And that was something that this architect pointed out to me, that it didn't seem to make sense. So anyway, the point behind that was it made me look at and evaluate the whole delivery system, the whole model. And anyway, I'm excited to be here. I'll be here in January, hopefully with more updates on the grand opening for the detox. But we're excited. We're excited to be out and about. And again, thank you. Thank you for your time.
Questions. This is all about networking, new people on the block and whatever. So, reach out and help all the people who are just starting out. It's a difficult time. Some of you've been through it. It is not fun. So we're all yes.
Just an affirmation to these guys. I work closely with Tom Clark with City of Angels. They are definitely a blessing to New Jersey, and you guys are an added addition, because let me tell you, there's nothing out there for those young men and women out there, and the more of you that come alive out there, it's just amazing. He speaks highly of your program and what you guys have to offer. I was actually up there not long ago and visited you guys, but I don't remember seeing.
No, I was out of the office that day, but yes, yep.
So, but I just wanted to say that they have a really great program out there, and it's just very much needed in New Jersey, because both South End, North End, Central End of New Jersey, that's why 100% of their clients are coming down to Florida, because there's nothing out there for them. So I think it's a great movement for you guys to start opening up centers up there.
Thank you.
I try to get hold of Tom too, and I finally put his picture on a milk carton.
That should be in town tomorrow.
It's
Then I found out he was sick and bad.
to develop it's an honor. I do this. I believe if you offer a good service, you hire the right people, and I tell my staff, I'm blessed to have Zena on board. Zena is absolutely wonderful. I tell my staff that in a year from now, I want to be able to walk into a director's meeting and be the dumbest person in the room. And then a year after that, I want to go into that same meeting and not know I'm not needed, and then I'll have known that I've done my job. There's no place for my ego in this. I'm trying to bring the best and the brightest onto my team, and that goes from clinical to marketing. And I truly believe that that's what the client deserves. And me cutting corners anywhere else and saving a dollar here or there is not doing the client a service. So.
Please just, I know there's many of us know Zena in this room, and I can see why she is doing what she's doing now. But please express to her from our hearts how hard we're praying for her.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Congratulations.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.